What do you see? Toes, right?
Toes.
Me too. Let me tell you what I see. 6 years ago, I used to measure how I was feeling by my ability to wiggle my toes. On some days, it took every ounce of energy to wiggle that big toe. And on other days, I was running 8 miles by Chicago's lakefront path. This ritual of sorts was something that I would do every day before even opening my eyes. Wiggle left, wiggle right. What about that pinky toe? This was a way that I could measure my progress and chart my intentions for the day. 6 years ago, at Northwestern Hospital in Chicago, my family hovered by my bedside. Beneath the skin, my new immune system was being ravaged by sepsis, a life-threatening infection. What entered my urine eventually entered my bloodstream. The infection was everywhere. I wondered if this could be it. Is this where it all would end? My mind was frantic. It was wandering like a crazy person, trying to take it all in. With each blink, an image, a memory was captured. I started to stare at my father's hands, trying to remember what they looked like, my mother's deep brown eyes and her bear hugs, my sister's larger-than-life personality and deep laugh. Would they ever recover? How could they possibly, after possibly burying a child at the age of 30? So how did I get to this point? Well, prior to this period, I had endured 720 hours of chemotherapy for a rare type of blood cancer called gray zone lymphoma. Gray zone lymphoma affects less than 200 people worldwide. It was a lonely place to be. At the age of 29, I didn't know if I was going to live or die. Life before cancer was really good. I have to admit, it's not like I would have done anything different. You know, when you think back, do you have any regrets? I really didn't. My life was full. I was holding a senior position at the Anti-Defamation League. I was incredibly passionate about my work. I had a robust social life. I was an avid cyclist. I worked out regularly. Life was really full. In February of 2010, I started to notice that my health was really declining. I went in, I was admitted for viral meningitis, and then soon after that, I was going back to the doctor every 6 weeks with flu-like symptoms. I experienced fatigue, weight loss, difficulty breathing. I eventually went to the orthopedist where I hadn't been in about 3 months, and she had the wherewithal to say, Jenna, we have to do a scan. I was having difficulty breathing and I was terrified. The scan eventually revealed a 10-centimeter mass on my lungs. During this period of time, I underwent intensive chemotherapy, fertility treatments, blood transfusions, scans, surgeries, and I had a lot of time to really dig deep. And I came to some critical realizations. Fighting a rare type of cancer as a young adult throws your hopes and dreams into a state of delirium. As my experiences became distilled into a series of cherished moments, time was no longer my own. Life, as I knew it, was on hold. And as I started to exist in this holding pattern, I began to really take notice and take stock that young adults, like us, with cancer, have a unique set of needs that are certainly not being met and aren't being talked about. When we don't speak about what's hard, we feel shame. And it was that shame that tried to paralyze me, but instead inspired me. I found myself desperate for inspiration, and I found myself coming back to Viktor Frankl, who was a world-renowned psychiatrist, had survived the Nazi death camps, and he has written prolifically about survivorship. This quote in particular resonated with me. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. I can stand up here and tell you all you have to do is change your attitude, change your perspective, and you'll be fine. Let's be real, that's not original, and it's not really honest or helpful. The question is, how? How do you possibly change your attitude and your perspective when things are truly hard? I want to share 4 strategies with you about how I was able to manage my crisis. 1, wiggle your toes. We've already discussed this. It sounds really basic and obvious, but what this really means is I want you to take a list of what you've accomplished, small things. It could be just waking up in the morning and being able to get to the bathroom, which for me was a major accomplishment. Write it down, take notice of it. Also acknowledge your setbacks. By having a visualization, it allows you to chart your progress and really see how far you're coming and where you're going towards. Second, see your crisis as an opportunity. In the first stages of when I was diagnosed, I was in complete denial. I didn't really understand the severity of the situation. Once I embraced cancer, I was able to come up with a plan to manage it. I then soon realized that this crisis was an opportunity not only for personal growth for me, but for others around me. Third, this is so critical. Connect with others. Open up. Find your crisis soulmate. Build your squad, but choose wisely. And fourth, dream big. I knew that I was going to be in the fight of my life, but I refused to consider the fact that cancer could maybe rob me of the ability to one day have children and bring life into the world. What opportunity will your crisis propel you to reach for? These are the 4 tools that I used to eventually find meaning in suffering. They also are the foundation of Twist Out Cancer. Twist Out Cancer is an international nonprofit that I started 6 months after my experience with cancer. We focus on the psychosocial needs of individuals touched by cancer through creative arts programming. To date, we've had over 100,000 people impacted by our online platform and our work in the community. I'm excited to say that we're officially launching one of our signature programs, Brushes with Cancer, which creates unexpected intersections between artists and individuals touched by cancer. It provides individuals touched by cancer with an opportunity to share their story, with a platform to be able to do it. And then we create these sort of unexpected matches with artists who then are charged with creating unique works of art reflective of their journey. In March of 2018, we will be launching here in Tel Aviv. This program exists in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in Toronto, in Montreal. So, my creative coping strategy was I started writing in my blog. And it was really just a way to update family and friends about what was going on with me. But what I found is that I was able to connect with people from all over the world that understood suffering and pain. As I watched the statistics start to rise, I realized that there were a lot of people that were a part of my journey, but I wanted to see them. Who were they? So in a state of desperation, and also with a lot of drugs, I will tell you, I put a video of myself up on YouTube doing the twist. For those of you that are under the age of 30, you may not know who Chubby Checker is, but he's the man that invented the twist. It's a very easy dance, right? So I put this video up and I posted it to Facebook and I said, who's joining me on the dance floor? And what happened next really surprised me. So within a couple of days, we had a couple thousand people twisting out cancer. It was as simple as that. And it's really a tribute to the power of social media and the power of really letting yourself be vulnerable and opening up. And I started to wonder what would happen if we could create a platform that allowed people to share their own story, to come forward and impart the lessons that they had learned, and put out challenges that were meaningful to them, and use the creative arts as a mechanism for healing. This was the community that I was determined to build. And so I stand here before you this afternoon, incredibly grateful for this opportunity. All of you are extraordinarily capable. There's no question about that. We've all read the resumes and you really are amazing people. But I am certain that each and every one of you one day will be faced with a crisis. That crisis is going to try and overwhelm you. It's going to try and paralyze you. It's going to try and force you to disconnect with family and friends. Remember, wiggle your toes, see your crisis as an opportunity, connect with others, and dream big. And sometimes, when you dream big, I'm gonna lose it here,
miracles can happen.